Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with the quiet collapse of Borders, the failure of the traditional bookstore chain. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Even the tallest towers eventually quiet down. Tonight, we gently explore the empty boardrooms and forgotten ambitions of the past. Your mind is calm, and we are ready to begin. Established in 1971, Borders began as a small bookstore in Ann Arbor, Michigan, offering a carefully curated selection of books. Its founders, both graduates of the University of Michigan, envisioned a welcoming space for readers, igniting a passion for literature within their community. This initial success encouraged rapid expansion, leading to the opening of additional locations throughout the United States during the 1980s and 90s. Borders distinguished itself with its inviting atmosphere, employing knowledgeable staff and featuring comfortable seating areas. The chain became known not just for its books, but also for its diverse range of products, including music and film. In 1992, Borders made a significant leap by going public, garnering substantial investment that fueled further growth and innovation. The chain embraced technological advancements, launching its own website in the late 1990s. This move, however, was overshadowed by the emergence of online retail giants. While Borders made efforts to adapt, including a misguided partnership with an online bookstore, it increasingly struggled to compete in a changing marketplace. By the early 2000s, the once thriving chain began to falter under the weight of financial mismanagement and an inability to respond effectively to shifting consumer preferences. The landscape of retail, marked by evolving shopping habits, proved to be too formidable an opponent. Established in 1971, this chain initially carved out a niche in the market by offering a diverse selection of books in inviting environments. The early to mid-1990s marked a period of significant expansion, with Borders opening numerous locations across the United States. Each store became a haven for bibliophiles, featuring comfortable seating areas and coffee shops that invited patrons to linger. This strategy not only cultivated a loyal customer base, but also positioned it as a community hub. The chain embraced a wide range of genres, appealing to an array of demographics. Titles from bestsellers to obscure literary works populated the shelves, reflecting a commitment to customer choice and satisfaction. The ambience was carefully curated, with soft lighting and carefully designed layouts fostering a sense of exploration. Technological advancements during this period, including the rise of compact disc sales and the introduction of digital media, played a crucial role in attracting a broader audience. The stores began selling music, further diversifying their inventory and revenue streams. By the end of the decade, Borders had established itself as one of the foremost bookstore chains, boasting a significant market share and numerous awards, establishing a formidable presence in the evolving retail landscape. The future seemed promising, yet the seeds of future decline were already being sown in the shifting preferences of consumers. The Borders Experience concept was an ambitious attempt to redefine the bookstore landscape. It sought to create an environment where books were not merely products, but rather part of a lifestyle. This approach combined cafes, music, and events, emphasizing a community hub that catered to the evolving tastes of consumers. In this pursuit, the chain invested heavily in large, spacious stores that invited patrons to linger. Comfortable seating areas adorned with plush armchairs beckoned customers to flip through books while enjoying a warm beverage. Despite this innovative vision, challenges soon emerged. The reliance on physical locations meant substantial overhead costs, which began to strain profitability. As consumers increasingly turned to digital platforms, the allure of browsing through aisles diminished. Sales were driven by convenience, and the vast selection available online rendered physical inventory less critical. The ambitious expansion plan led to locations in regions where demand could not sustain them. As closures began to mount, the atmosphere shifted from vibrant community spaces to empty shelves, echoing the decline of the chain's market relevance. The experience concept, initially meant to foster connection, inadvertently contributed to disconnection. With shifting consumer behavior and rising operational costs, the Borders experience began to wane, overshadowed by the rapid evolution of technology in retail. E-commerce platforms emerged, reshaping the way consumers accessed literature. The convenience of online shopping provided an alternative that traditional bookstores struggled to compete with. This shift in consumer preferences prompted a reassessment of the brick-and-mortar model, leading to an unsettling realization of its limitations. Digital innovation accelerated the decline of once thriving establishments. E-readers proliferated, offering readers the ability to carry entire libraries in compact devices. This region, once filled with aisles of physical books, began to echo with the absence of foot traffic. The allure of browsing tangible texts diminished as consumers gravitated towards the immediacy of digital downloads. Retailers faced mounting pressure to adapt, yet many found themselves ill-equipped. They attempted to integrate technology, introducing in-store kiosks and online ordering systems, but these efforts often fell short of expectations. The struggle to maintain relevance became increasingly evident as the market shifted towards convenience and personalized experiences. Amidst the ruins of a familiar landscape, other companies emerged, capitalizing on the opportunities that technology presented. Subscription services and book discovery apps offered tailored recommendations, forging connections with readers in ways that traditional retailers could not. The landscape of literature consumption transformed, leaving remnants of a bygone era in its wake. Intense competition characterized the bookstore industry, particularly the rivalry between Borders and Barnes and Noble. Once formidable giants, they engaged in a struggle marked by shifting consumer preferences and technological advancements. Borders, known for its expansive inventory and inviting in-store experience, faced challenges as online retailers emerged, offering convenience and cost-effectiveness. This region witnessed changing tides, as literature enthusiasts gravitated towards platforms that provided instant access to vast catalogs. Barnes & Noble adapted more effectively to these trends, introducing a robust online presence and enhancing its digital offerings. They expanded their e-reader capabilities and invested in content to capture the growing market of electronic books. In contrast, Borders hesitated to fully embrace the digital revolution, clinging to traditional retail formats while its competitors innovated. The fading company struggled to attract customers who increasingly preferred the ease of online shopping. As Borders sought to revitalize its brand, the pressure from Barnes and Noble intensified. This competition highlighted not only the differences in strategy, but also the shifting expectations of consumers. The momentum of e-commerce loomed large, rendering physical stores less relevant in the eyes of a new generation. An ever-expanding world of online book retailing began to reshape the landscape of literary consumption. Convenience became a key factor, as millions discovered the ease of browsing and purchasing from the comfort of their own homes. Overnight delivery options further enhanced the appeal, as readers no longer needed to traverse aisles or navigate crowded shops. They could simply click a button and receive their chosen titles within days, if not hours. The allure of vast selections also attracted consumers. Digital platforms offered an extensive range of titles, often surpassing any physical bookstore's inventory. This accessibility fostered a culture of exploration, where readers could discover both mainstream bestsellers and obscure gems previously relegated to niche markets. The role of personalized recommendations, driven by algorithms, transformed the way individuals engaged with literature. Traditional bookstores struggled to compete with the relentless advancement of technology. Limited by their physical spaces, they could not match the ever-shifting inventory that online retailers easily curated. The decline was gradual yet persistent, with closures becoming increasingly common. Communities once vibrant with literary gatherings saw their gatherings dwindle, replaced by the impersonal nature of online transactions. In this evolving context, the traditional bookstore chain faced an uncertain future, navigating a landscape that no longer favored its existence. The advent of digital formats introduced a profound shift in consumer preferences, reshaping the way literature was consumed. Ebooks emerged as a convenient alternative, allowing readers to store entire libraries within a single device. This innovation appealed to a generation seeking efficiency, often prioritizing immediate access over the tactile experience of printed pages. With e-readers becoming commonplace, the allure of physical bookstores diminished. The ease of purchasing titles online, often accompanied by lower prices, drew customers away from brick-and-mortar establishments. Digital platforms offered not only convenience but also a vast selection, often exceeding what any single store could provide. As browsing shifted from aisles to screens, the intimate connection once shared between readers and their local bookstores began to erode. In this new digital era, the traditional bookstore struggled to compete, grappling with declining foot traffic and shrinking sales. It attempted to adapt by incorporating technology, yet the fundamental allure of ebooks remained potent. Consumers gravitated towards the instant gratification of digital downloads, often foregoing the nostalgia associated with physical books. The once bustling shelves filled with stories began to gather dust, a stark reminder of changing times. These once cherished spaces became relics of a bygone era, overshadowed by the relentless advance of digital convenience. Strategic partnerships were initially seen as a means to rejuvenate borders, aiming to blend the traditional bookstore experience with the allure of music and cafe offerings. They sought to create inviting atmospheres where customers could linger longer sipping coffee while browsing through shelves lined with books and CDs. This strategy attracted a diverse clientele, allowing for a sense of community to flourish within these walls. The integration of cafes transformed borders into social hubs, fostering an environment that encouraged patrons to spend additional time. They envisioned these partnerships as a way to enhance customer loyalty, drawing in those who appreciated both literature and music. Live performances occasionally graced the stores, further enticing foot traffic and stimulating interest in the merchandise. Despite these efforts, the rise of digital media began to eclipse traditional content consumption. People gravitated towards convenient streaming services, leaving the physical music offerings to gather dust. The once bustling cafes gradually quieted as fewer patrons chose to visit. This shift rendered the strategy ineffective, as declining sales figures reflected an inability to adapt to changing consumer preferences. What was intended to be a harmonious fusion instead became a poignant reminder of how swiftly the landscape could shift. The partnerships, once deemed innovative, now stood as markers of a fading legacy, highlighting the vulnerabilities inherent in traditional retail. Resistance to change became a defining characteristic of this fading company. While the publishing landscape shifted toward digital formats, an unwavering attachment to brick-and-mortar sales persisted. Executives clung to the belief that physical books would forever reign supreme, a sentiment that clouded their judgment. This refusal to embrace e-readers allowed competitors to gain a significant advantage. In this region, where once thrived rows of meticulously stacked novels, the emergence of digital platforms began to erode customer loyalty. The convenience of e-readers and online purchasing appealed to an evolving consumer base that sought immediacy and accessibility. They gravitated toward devices that offered entire libraries at their fingertips, rendering traditional stores increasingly irrelevant. The absence of a strategic pivot toward digital offerings illustrated a profound disconnect with market trends. While other retailers adopted new technologies, expanding their reach through online channels, the fading company remained anchored to outdated practices. Consequently, valuable market share slipped away, leaving behind empty shelves and dwindling foot traffic. Each passing season revealed the consequences of inaction, as sales figures plummeted and once bustling locations turned into quiet relics of a bygone era. In the end, the refusal to adapt solidified the demise of this once prominent bookstore chain. The echoes of its past success now serve only as reminders of what could have been. Late adoption marked a significant turning point for this fading company. As ebooks surged in popularity, a slow response to this shifting landscape cost it dearly. While competitors embraced digital formats, it hesitated, clinging to the traditional model that once propelled its success. This reluctance to innovate created a widening chasm between it and its more agile counterparts. The ebook market, burgeoning with new opportunities, flourished without its participation. Many consumers, eager for the convenience of electronic reading, opted for alternatives that offered instant access and extensive selections. The transition from physical to digital left this company struggling to maintain relevance. Initiatives to enter the ebook sphere came too late, lacking the strategic vision necessary to capture consumer interest. The introduction of its own e-reader failed to resonate. It struggled to compete with established giants that had already solidified their positions. An underwhelming catalog and a clunky user experience compounded its challenges, further alienating potential customers. Brick-and-mortar stores, once bustling with activity, saw diminishing foot traffic. The increasing reliance on online platforms led to a stark realization: the retail landscape had irrevocably changed. Each empty shelf became a testament to missed opportunities, reflecting a broader narrative of decline. Dwindling sales figures painted a sobering picture, highlighting the consequences of a failure to adapt in a rapidly evolving marketplace. Amid the shifting landscape of the early 2000s, the economic climate began to sour. It was a time marked by uncertainty, with looming recessions causing consumers to reevaluate their spending habits. Many retailers felt the pinch, but it was the traditional bookstore chain that faced particularly severe repercussions. This region, once filled with the scent of new pages and cozy reading nooks, now began to show signs of neglect. Foot traffic dwindled as shoppers hesitated to spend on non-essential items. They turned toward digital alternatives, seeking convenience and lower prices. The allure of online marketplaces grew stronger, drawing customers away from the tactile experience offered by physical stores. Retailers struggled to maintain inventory while grappling with rising operational costs, forcing some locations to shutter their doors permanently. This erosion of consumer confidence compounded the difficulties faced by bookstores. The patrons who once flocked to browse shelves now opted for immediate gratification found in digital formats. The once vibrant aisles filled with literary treasures became increasingly desolate, reflecting a broader trend within the industry. The impact of the recession resonated deeply, leaving a trail of empty storefronts and lost opportunities. It became evident that the traditional business model, reliant on foot traffic and physical sales, was becoming obsolete in the face of relentless change. Leadership decisions played a pivotal role in shaping the trajectory of the fading company. An often hierarchical approach characterized management within borders, where directives flowed from the top down. This structure became a limiting factor in responding to the rapidly evolving marketplace. The leadership was frequently preoccupied with maintaining the status quo, choosing to prioritize existing practices over innovation. Such an approach stifled creativity and discouraged the input of employees at various levels, who could have offered fresh perspectives on the pressing challenges. A lack of decisive action further compounded these issues. Leaders hesitated to embrace digital transformations, underestimating the significance of online sales and the growing influence of e-commerce giants. This reluctance to adapt fostered a disconnect between the leadership and a shifting consumer landscape. Instead of fostering an environment conducive to agile thinking, they clung to outdated methodologies. Some attempts at revitalization were made, yet these initiatives often lacked the necessary support and resources. Training programs designed to enhance customer engagement and develop a more knowledgeable workforce were sporadic and inconsistent. As a result, those who remained with the company found themselves navigating a murky sea of uncertainty, reflecting the broader malaise that plagued the retailer. Decisions made in boardrooms resonated through the aisles, echoing the quiet decline that enveloped the once prominent retailer. Internal mechanisms began to falter, leading to inefficiencies that crippled operations. Inventory management, once a streamlined process, now became a labyrinth of miscalculations and outdated strategies. It struggled to adapt to changing consumer behaviors, unable to predict the rapid shift toward digital formats. Stock levels fluctuated wildly, leaving shelves either barren or overstocked with titles that no longer captured the market's interest. This region once thrived on the flow of new releases and bestsellers, yet the supply chain became a relic of an era defined by physical media. Vendors, burdened with excess inventory, faced delays in shipments that exacerbated the situation. It left the retailer vulnerable, unprepared to respond to trends as they emerged. The disconnect between corporate decision-making and local demand rendered the stores stagnant. Employees caught in the crossfire of shifting strategies expressed frustration over the inability to provide customers with what they sought. The vibrant, bustling atmosphere of the past now felt heavy with uncertainty. As digital platforms surged, Borders found itself ensnared in a cycle of underperformance. The reliance on physical books, while once a strength, transformed into a liability. Each missed opportunity compounded the overall decline, leaving a once cherished institution struggling to redefine its identity in an evolving marketplace. The struggle for a coherent brand identity became increasingly evident as competitors adapted to market demands with agility and innovation. It faltered in recognizing the shift toward experiential retail, failing to create an inviting atmosphere that encouraged lingering. The once familiar layout, characterized by rows of bookshelves, became static and uninspired. This region, once filled with the scent of new paper and coffee, began to feel sterile, devoid of the warmth that drew patrons into its embrace. In contrast, rival chains embraced the concept of community hubs, offering events, author signings, and gatherings that fostered social interaction. These competitors thrived on cultivating relationships, while it continued to rely on traditional marketing strategies that felt outdated and disconnected. Promotional efforts often lacked the resonance needed to engage a new generation of readers who sought more than mere products. They craved experiences and engagement. This failure to adapt its messaging further alienated loyal patrons, who found themselves drawn to the vibrant cultures emerging within competitor spaces. The marketing missteps were not merely strategic, they reflected a deeper misunderstanding of the evolving landscape of retail. A once proud name in literature began to fade into memory, overshadowed by the vibrant, dynamic environments that its competitors had so successfully cultivated. The remnants of its brand now linger, a testament to what was lost in the pursuit of relevance. The once vibrant in-store atmosphere, characterized by the soft rustle of pages turning and the inviting scent of fresh ink, has faded into a muted echo. Comfortable seating areas where customers would linger over their selections have become sparse, replaced by stark, unwelcoming spaces. Shelves, once filled with carefully curated titles, now stand with gaps that signal the decline of inventory. The warm glow of ambient lighting has dimmed, casting shadows over what remains of the merchandise. Staff, once passionate advocates for literature, have dwindled in number, leaving a void in customer service. Knowledgeable recommendations have given way to a transactional experience, stripping the atmosphere of its charm. The personal touch, which once fostered loyalty, has been replaced by a disconnection that permeates the air. Visitors often approach the checkout with a sense of obligation rather than enthusiasm, reflecting a shift in consumer behavior. The absence of community events such as book signings or reading clubs has further alienated the clientele. This region, once a hub of literary exchange, has transformed into a space characterized by silence, save for the occasional beep of a register. The allure of browsing has been overshadowed by the convenience of digital alternatives, leading to a gradual erosion of the bookstore's significance in cultural life. What remains, an echo of nostalgia, serves as a reminder of a time when such spaces thrived. The role of customer loyalty programs often determine the success of retail chains. Borders Rewards, an initiative designed to foster relationships with consumers, aimed to offer more than just discounts. Membership provided a sense of belonging, promising exclusive deals and early access to new releases. This approach sought to cultivate a community of avid readers, enticing them to frequent the stores. Initially, it seemed effective. Customers signed up, lured by the promise of benefits that reinforced their connection to the brand. Frequent shoppers received points for every dollar spent, incentivizing repeat visits. The program was intended to create a sense of investment, encouraging loyalty through tangible rewards. Over time, the reality shifted. Many customers began to engage with digital platforms, where convenience and immediacy overshadowed traditional shopping experiences. These changes highlighted a fundamental disconnect. Borders Rewards could not adapt to the evolving landscape of consumer preferences. The program became a relic of an earlier era, struggling to maintain relevance in a world increasingly dominated by online shopping. As the failures mounted, the once celebrated initiative faded into obscurity. The loyalty that the program sought to instill could not overcome the allure of instant gratification found elsewhere. This disconnect. The cultivation of community, vital to the essence of any bookstore, experienced a notable decline within its walls. Events and author signings, once a hallmark of the experience, began to dwindle. These gatherings, which previously drew crowds, now struggled to attract the attention they once commanded. Authors arrived with hopes of connecting, sharing stories, and engaging with readers, but the atmosphere grew increasingly subdued. The excitement that enveloped such events faded, leaving behind a palpable sense of disappointment. Locals who once frequented the store for book launches and readings started to seek alternative venues where community spirit thrived. The unifying power of literature seemed overshadowed by a growing indifference. This shift did not go unnoticed. Customers began to associate Borders with a hollow experience, devoid of the warmth of genuine interaction. The inviting ambience that once welcomed both authors and audiences alike fell into disrepair. Empty seats at signings became a common sight, each one a silent testament to the changing climate of consumer behavior. The sense of community diminished, replaced by isolation as the digital marketplace flourished outside. Patrons sought connection through online platforms, leaving behind the comforting walls of the fading company. The heart of Borders, once a vibrant hub of literary exchange, became a quiet echo of its former self, a reminder of what was lost. In this region, the shift from physical to digital media altered consumption patterns significantly. Customers, once drawn to the tactile experience of browsing through shelves, began to favor the convenience of online platforms. This transition was not abrupt, but rather a gradual evolution in preferences. Many found solace in the ease of accessing vast libraries of literature from their personal devices, leaving fewer individuals frequenting traditional stores. Sales in physical locations dwindled as digital alternatives offered immediate gratification. E-books, audiobooks, and subscription services became increasingly popular, garnering the attention of a demographic that prioritized accessibility over ambience. The allure of instant downloads and the ability to carry entire libraries within a single device redefined how reading was perceived and consumed. Borders, unable to adapt swiftly to these changing tides, struggled to maintain relevance. The once bustling aisles filled with eager readers became increasingly sparse. Inventory that could not compete with the depth of online offerings contributed to a growing disconnect between the chain and its audience. It became evident that the fading company failed to recognize the urgency of this transformation, leaving it unable to innovate or pivot its business model effectively. This new landscape of consumer behavior underscored the limitations of a traditional bookstore chain relying on an outdated paradigm. The role of social media in contemporary retail cannot be overstated. The absence of engagement in this vital arena further compounded the challenges faced by Borders. While competitors embraced platforms that fostered community and dialogue, this fading company remained largely inactive, choosing instead to rely on conventional marketing strategies that no longer resonated with a digitally savvy audience. This reluctance to adapt resulted in lost opportunities for connection, brand loyalty, and organic growth. Consumers increasingly turned to social media for recommendations, reviews, and a sense of belonging within their reading communities. Borders' silence in these spaces created a void that competitors eagerly filled, utilizing targeted campaigns and interactive content to capture the attention of potential customers. The impact of this disengagement became increasingly pronounced as the years progressed. Loyal patrons, once drawn to the warmth of in-store experiences, began to seek alternatives in the form of online retailers, where engagement extended beyond mere transactions. They found solace in platforms that not only offered books but created environments for discussion and shared interests. Consequently, sales dwindled, and the once familiar storefronts became relics of a bygone era. The company's inability to adapt to the social media landscape became a significant factor in its decline, illustrating how vital digital engagement has become in the modern retail environment. An absence of a robust online presence compounded the challenges faced by the fading company. While competitors embraced the digital revolution, it clung to outdated business models, neglecting the need for a significant online strategy. Their initial foray into e-commerce was half-hearted, resulting in a disjointed approach that failed to resonate with consumers increasingly gravitating towards digital platforms. This region, once a hub for literary enthusiasts, saw diminishing foot traffic as more readers turned to the convenience of online retailers. The rise of ebooks and digital platforms created an environment where traditional bookstores struggled to maintain relevance. Borders' attempt to partner with an online retailer proved ineffective, leaving them at a competitive disadvantage. The decision not to invest in a proprietary e-commerce site showcased a lack of foresight. In an age defined by immediacy and accessibility, they fell short of meeting customer expectations. While rivals cultivated engaging online experiences, this fading company offered little more than a static website. Social media channels, emerging as critical touchpoints for engagement, were largely ignored, the absence of a cohesive digital strategy. This oversight contributed significantly to the unraveling of a once prominent brand, leaving behind echoes of what could have been in the evolving landscape of retail. The year 2008 marked a pivotal moment in the decline of this traditional bookstore chain. External factors converged to create a perfect storm, amplifying existing vulnerabilities. The global financial crisis laid bare the fragility of consumer spending, leading to a sharp decline in discretionary purchases. Book sales, once a stable revenue stream, began to dwindle as shoppers tightened their budgets. Internal missteps compounded these challenges. A lack of innovation in product offerings failed to attract a new generation of readers. The inventory became stagnant, with shelf space devoted to bestsellers rather than diversifying into niche markets that could have sustained interest. The rise of online bookstores further eroded sales, as consumers favored the convenience of digital purchases over physical visits. The impact of this shift was profound. Many locations, once bustling with foot traffic, began to reflect a stark quietude, their aisles empty and their tables devoid of the eager conversations that once filled the air. Store closures became inevitable, leaving communities without a local hub for literary exploration. As the bankruptcy filing approached, the brand's identity was increasingly at odds with the realities of modern retail. Investors watched as the once revered institution slipped into disarray, a casualty of both timing and an unwillingness to adapt to a rapidly changing marketplace. Mounting debt became a defining characteristic of this fading company. Initially, the allure of expansion led to significant borrowing, a strategy predicated upon the belief that growth would yield sufficient returns. The acquisition of multiple locations and the expansion into new markets, however, soon transformed into an unsustainable burden. Interest payments accumulated, diverting crucial resources from innovation and operational efficiency. External factors compounded these issues as the rise of digital media began to reshape consumer preferences. Shoppers shifted towards online platforms where costs were lower and convenience reigned supreme. This transition, coupled with the high overheads associated with physical storefronts, strained finances further. While competitors adapted to this digital revolution, it became increasingly clear that the traditional model could not withstand the pressure of economic shifts. Management decisions, driven by a desire to maintain market position, often prioritized immediate gains over long-term stability. This focus on short-term profits resulted in missed opportunities to invest in e-commerce capabilities, leaving it vulnerable to more agile competitors. The inability to reconcile debt obligations with declining sales created a vicious cycle. Each quarter brought new challenges, as revenues dwindled and liabilities remained steadfast. In the end, financial mismanagement not only accelerated decline, but also encapsulated the broader struggles faced by many traditional retailers in an evolving landscape. The absence of foresight proved to be a critical misstep in the unfolding saga. Opportunities slipped away unnoticed, with a pivotal moment arising in the late 1990s. The chance to acquire a fledgling online bookstore, Amazon, presented itself. Decision makers, however, chose to overlook the potential, believing that a physical retail presence was paramount. This belief, deeply rooted in the prevailing business model, obstructed any vision beyond the traditional framework. Consequently, the organization remained tethered to outdated practices, unable to adapt to the burgeoning digital era. It continued to invest heavily in brick-and-mortar locations, while the virtual marketplace began to reshape consumer habits. The lack of an online strategy and the refusal to embrace technological advancements left it exposed. As Amazon flourished, evolving into a dominant force in retail, the gap between their success and the organization's stagnation widened. Each miscalculation contributed to the erosion of market share and consumer loyalty. The once familiar brand began to fade from the public consciousness, overshadowed by its online counterpart. This decline was not just a failure of judgment, it was a symptom of a larger, systemic unwillingness to adapt. In the end, the decision to forsake innovation became emblematic of the challenges faced by traditional retailers in an increasingly digital world. The emergence of competitors reshaped the landscape of book retail. Online giants swiftly adapted to consumer preferences, offering vast selections and rapid delivery options. Amazon, with its streamlined platform, fundamentally altered how books were purchased, emphasizing convenience and accessibility. This shift attracted a new generation of readers, drawn to the ease of acquiring literature with just a few clicks. Indie bookstores also found unique ways to thrive amidst this upheaval. Their focus on community engagement and personalized service created a loyal customer base. These establishments cultivated spaces for readers to gather, fostering a sense of belonging that transcended the transactional nature of retail. Author events, book clubs, and local art displays transformed these locations into cultural hubs, appealing to those who craved connection. In stark contrast, the Fading Company struggled to adapt. Its once popular locations, characterized by towering shelves and inviting reading nooks, began to feel desolate. The decline in foot traffic reflected a broader trend. Consumers increasingly sought the immediacy of digital formats and the allure of neighborhood bookstores. This region, once bustling with literary enthusiasts, now stood as a testament to the evolving nature of commerce. The dynamics of the marketplace revealed a stark truth. Adaptability and innovation were essential in a climate where consumer preferences shifted rapidly. Store closures marked a significant phase in the decline of the Fading Company. The gradual reduction of its physical presence began in the early 2000s as the first wave of closures targeted underperforming locations. These decisions stemmed from mounting financial pressure as sales continued to dwindle in the face of rising digital alternatives. By 2007, the landscape transformed further. It became clear that the once prominent chain could no longer sustain its expansive footprint. This year signified a pivotal moment, with over 150 stores shuttered in a single announcement. Each closure reflected not just a loss of revenue, but a deepening disconnect from the evolving needs of the readership. In the following years, the toll of declining consumer interest persisted. By 2010, the remaining stores dwindled to a mere fraction of their original number. The once bustling aisles, filled with the scent of fresh paper and ink, became quiet and desolate. Shelves that once showcased the latest bestsellers now stood bare, punctuated by empty spaces where volumes once thrived. The final blow arrived in 2011, when the last closures unfolded. The company filed for bankruptcy, marking the end of an era. What remained was a testament to the realities of a shifting industry, leaving behind echoes of a once beloved institution. Tales from within the Fading Company reveal a complex interplay of corporate culture that shaped experiences for employees over the years. Many entered with a profound passion for literature, driven by a desire to share knowledge and foster community. This initial zeal often clashed with management directives focused on profit margins rather than nurturing the literary spirit. A disconnect emerged as employees faced pressures to prioritize sales over customer engagement, leading to a disheartening shift in workplace morale. Within these walls, camaraderie blossomed among staff members who shared a love for books. They cultivated intimate relationships with customers, becoming trusted advisors and confidants. Yet, as the decline accelerated, these connections became strained. Many employees voiced concerns about job security, witnessing colleagues laid off with little notice. The fear of impending closures cast a long shadow, overshadowing the joy once found in their roles. Leadership seemed distant, often failing to communicate effectively with those on the ground. This lack of transparency contributed to feelings of disillusionment. Employees, who once felt empowered to create enriching experiences, found themselves relegated to mere sales personnel. As the company faltered, the vibrant culture that once defined Borders transformed into a fading memory, mirroring the empty shelves and dimming storefronts. The very essence of what it represented slowly eroded, leaving behind an unsettling silence. The misjudgment of target demographics became a critical factor in the decline of this once thriving retailer. It sought to cater to a broad audience, aiming to appeal to both casual readers and dedicated bibliophiles. In an age where digital consumption surged, this focus on a wide-ranging customer base diluted its appeal. The shifting preferences of consumers revealed a desire for curated experiences rather than a vast selection of titles. The rise of online retailers shifted the landscape dramatically. Customers began seeking convenience over the tactile experience of browsing physical shelves. This transition rendered Borders' expansive stores less relevant as they struggled to adapt to the digital age. The traditional bookstore no longer served as a community gathering space. Instead, it became an oversized repository of books, lacking the personalized touch that readers craved. The failure to hone in on a specific demographic further complicated matters. While many sought the comfort of knowledgeable staff and intimate book recommendations, Borders often fell short in delivering that experience. This disconnect became palpable in the atmosphere of its locations, which often felt impersonal and sterile. The essence of discovery that once characterized a visit to the bookstore faded, leaving an echo of what could have been. As time progressed, the realization that understanding one's customer was paramount became evident, yet it was too late for this fading company. The shift in consumer purchasing trends revealed a collective movement away from physical media. Digital alternatives emerged, reshaping how literature was consumed. Ebooks and audiobooks became the preferred formats for many, offering convenience and accessibility that traditional brick-and-mortar stores struggled to match. With an increasing number of readers opting for electronic devices, the once bustling aisles of this fading company stood eerily quiet, shelves lined with unsold titles. Sales figures plummeted as the once loyal customer base gravitated towards online retailers, enticed by lower prices and immediate gratification. This change was not merely a shift in preference, it was a fundamental transformation in how consumers interacted with literature. The tactile experience of flipping through pages was overshadowed by the allure of instantaneous downloads. In response, the company attempted to adapt. Initiatives were launched to bolster their online presence, yet they lacked the infrastructure and vision to compete effectively. Resources were stretched thin, and the innovative spirit that once fueled their growth dwindled into a mere imitation of what had been. The decline of physical media became emblematic of a broader cultural shift. Communities that once gathered around local bookstores for signings and readings faded into nostalgia as the connection to these physical spaces eroded, leaving behind only remnants of a once thriving literary haven. The competition adapted to shifting consumer needs, recognizing that the rise of online shopping demanded a response. Independent bookstores embraced personalized experiences, curating selections that resonated with local tastes and fostering relationships with their communities. These nimble businesses offered author events, book clubs, and engaging activities that drew patrons in, creating an environment that transcended mere transactions. Larger competitors adjusted their strategies as well. Retail giants expanded their offerings beyond books, incorporating cafes and merchandise that appealed to diverse interests. Through these changes, they transformed into multifaceted spaces designed to attract foot traffic. These adaptations underscored a fundamental truth within retail: flexibility is essential in a rapidly evolving marketplace. Success hinged on understanding consumer preferences, which became increasingly centered around convenience and experience. The shift towards digital platforms presented both challenges and opportunities. Some companies embraced e-commerce, allowing them to reach broader audiences while maintaining their physical presence. This transition highlighted the need for innovation, whether through technology, customer engagement, or product diversification. As the industry continued to shift, those who resisted change found themselves overshadowed by more agile competitors. The decline of Borders serves as a poignant reminder of the necessity for continuous evolution in an ever-changing business landscape. Marketing campaigns once characterized Borders' approach to engaging customers, yet they failed to adapt to shifting consumer preferences. Initially, the strategy centered around heavy discounts and promotional events, drawing in crowds with the promise of savings. While this garnered short-term attention, the lack of a cohesive brand identity became evident over time. Customers flocked to the stores for markdowns rather than a unique experience. Failures in digital marketing further compounded the issue. The rise of online retailers went largely unacknowledged, with Borders clinging to traditional marketing channels. The company missed opportunities to establish a robust online presence, opting instead for a delayed entry into the e-commerce space. This indecisiveness alienated a generation of consumers who increasingly gravitated towards digital solutions. Additionally, Borders struggled to forge partnerships that could enhance its visibility. Competitors embraced collaborations, leveraging social media and influencer marketing to reach wider audiences. In contrast, Borders campaigns often felt stagnant, lacking innovation and failing to resonate with younger demographics. The inability to connect emotionally with consumers eroded brand loyalty, leading to dwindling foot traffic. Unmet expectations for in-store experiences only magnified these issues. The once inviting atmosphere became overshadowed by an overwhelming inventory, leaving customers disengaged. This combination of misaligned marketing strategies left Borders adrift in a rapidly evolving retail environment. The landscape of retail was shifting, with consumers increasingly seeking seamless interactions across physical and digital spaces. Borders, however, remained tethered to its traditional bookstore model. They relied heavily on brick-and-mortar sales, neglecting the burgeoning potential of online platforms. This failure to embrace omnichannel retailing became a significant turning point in its decline. Competitors recognized the need for integration, utilizing technology to enhance the shopping experience. They offered customers the ability to browse online, reserve items for in-store pickup, or have purchases delivered to their homes. This approach resonated with a generation of consumers who valued convenience and flexibility. Borders' absence in this domain highlighted a critical oversight. While it had established a strong presence in physical locations, the lack of an effective online strategy meant that it could not capture the growing segment of digital shoppers. The website remained underdeveloped, often criticized for its limited inventory and cumbersome navigation. As consumer preferences evolved, the expectation for a cohesive shopping experience intensified. Borders' resistance to adapt to these trends left it vulnerable. The once revered chain became an anachronism, unable to meet the demands of a changing market. The missed opportunity to innovate in omnichannel retailing. The role of real estate played a pivotal part in the decline of the fading company. Locations were often chosen for their visibility and accessibility, prioritizing prime retail space over strategic placements that could have fostered community engagement. In bustling shopping centers, Borders thrived on foot traffic, yet these areas became increasingly competitive as e-commerce began to reshape consumer habits. The vast open floor plans filled with books provided an inviting atmosphere. Nonetheless, the sheer size of these spaces created a burden. Operational costs climbed, and with diminishing returns on physical book sales, the model strained under its own weight. As online sales surged, the once coveted locations turned from assets to liabilities. Each store, designed to be a haven for bibliophiles, gradually transformed into an echo of past successes. The allure of browsing through shelves gave way to the convenience of digital purchasing. The real estate decisions, once seen as a hallmark of growth, began to mirror the company's stagnation. In retrospect, the reliance on expansive locations, without adapting to the changing landscape of retail, resulted in a disconnect. As foot traffic dwindled, the impact of these choices became glaringly evident. culminating in a series of closures that left behind only remnants of a once prominent brand. The strategic miscalculations of location and purpose now serve as a cautionary tale in retail history. Corporate ownership introduced a distinct shift in operational priorities. Following the acquisition by private equity, an intense focus on short-term profitability overshadowed the foundational values that once guided the traditional bookstore chain. Decisions became increasingly center-driven, with cost-cutting measures implemented across the board. Resources allocated for community engagement and customer experience dwindled, replaced by a drive to enhance immediate financial returns. This region, once vibrant with literary events and local author signings, now felt the weight of a corporate ethos that prioritized efficiency over enrichment. Staff members, previously empowered to connect with customers and curate selections, found themselves navigating a landscape of strict corporate policies and performance metrics. The intimate atmosphere characteristic of independent bookstores faded, supplanted by a sterile, transactional environment. Inventory choices shifted dramatically. The focus on bestsellers and mass-market titles eroded the diversity that had once drawn patrons. Shelves that once offered a rich variety of genres became increasingly homogeneous, reflecting the narrow interests of a distant corporate board rather than the eclectic tastes of a loyal customer base. Profit margins tightened further, leading to the gradual decline of brick-and-mortar locations. The once bustling bookstores, teeming with the potential for discovery, transformed into vacant spaces, echoes of their former purpose lingering in the air. The consequences of these decisions became evident as the competitive landscape evolved. The evolution of e-commerce prompted a significant decline in retail foot traffic, particularly for traditional bookstores. The rise of online shopping platforms offered consumers unparalleled convenience, allowing them to browse and purchase books from the comfort of their homes. This shift in consumer behavior diminished the allure of physical bookstores, once bustling with patrons seeking a tactile experience. Foot traffic waned, leaving many locations eerily quiet, their aisles filled with decreasing numbers of customers. Employees, once engaged in guiding eager readers, found themselves in an environment marked by dwindling sales and uncertainty. Browsing habits changed, as consumers increasingly preferred the efficiency of digital search functions over leisurely perusal of physical shelves. The impact extended beyond mere sales figures. Storefronts that once served as community hubs struggled to adapt, losing their relevance in the face of a rapidly evolving marketplace. The vibrant atmosphere of events, book signings, and reading groups diminished, replaced by a stark reality of unsold inventory and empty chairs. These changes were compounded by the financial strain of maintaining physical spaces amid rising operational costs. Many bookstores faced the harsh reality of closing their doors, unable to compete with the expansive reach and pricing strategies of online giants. This shift marked a pivotal moment in the retail landscape, signaling the decline of an era for traditional bookstores. A gradual erosion of brand identity unfolded as Borders began to resemble other chain bookstores, losing the distinctiveness that once set it apart. This transformation led to a homogenization of the customer experience. The once inviting atmosphere filled with curated selections of titles was replaced by predictable layouts and standard inventory. It became increasingly difficult for loyal patrons to find the unique offerings that had once drawn them in. The introduction of a wide array of non-book merchandise, including coffee and gadgets, further diluted the essence of the bookstore. This diversification, intended to attract a broader audience, instead contributed to an identity crisis, blurring the lines between a bookstore and a generic retail outlet. Customers found themselves wandering through aisles that no longer resonated with their literary passions, but rather echoed a lack of focus. In these fading locations, the knowledgeable staff who once provided personalized recommendations began to vanish, replaced by employees whose expertise lay in sales rather than literature. This departure signaled the loss of a crucial connection between the store and its patrons, further disengaging the community that had supported it. As Borders struggled to define itself in an evolving market, the essence of what made it beloved faded into the background, leaving behind a stark reminder of its former glory. A response to the rising dominance of e-commerce prompted Borders to expand its digital presence, a move that proved both necessary and insufficient. The initial foray into online retail aimed to capture a segment of the market that increasingly sought the convenience of purchasing books from home. Despite building a website and offering online sales, the effort faltered in the face of growing competition from established e-commerce giants. Investments in technology and infrastructure were made, yet the execution remained inconsistent. The integration of online and in-store experiences was clumsy, often leaving customers bewildered. While some locations embraced the digital shift, others remained tethered to traditional methods, creating a disjointed experience that alienated potential buyers. The once familiar ambience of browsing shelves transformed into a struggle against an impersonal online interface. Promotional strategies intended to lure customers back to the stores, such as loyalty programs and exclusive offers, met with limited success. The allure of convenience overshadowed the nostalgia of physical browsing. As sales continued to decline, the disconnect between the evolving landscape and the company's attempts to adapt became increasingly evident. This failure to resonate with a shifting customer base marked a pivotal moment, further entrenching the decline that would. Further entrenching the decline that would follow was a marked disregard for customer feedback. This attitude fostered a disconnect between the organization and its patrons. Insights that could have illuminated pathways toward retention and growth were frequently overlooked. Instead of engaging with the voices of dissent, strategies leaned heavily on outdated models, perpetuating a cycle of stagnation. In this environment, loyal customers felt increasingly alienated. Their suggestions often fell on deaf ears, leaving a void where dialogue could have flourished. The absence of adaptive response created a chasm. It became evident that this approach not only stifled innovation, but also alienated a community that once embraced the brand as a cultural cornerstone. The digital age ushered in a transformation in consumer behavior, with customers seeking personalized experiences. Instead of acknowledging this shift, the organization maintained its focus on traditional methods of selling books. Store layouts remained static, and promotions failed to reflect contemporary interests. The silence surrounding constructive criticism amplified the feeling of disconnection. As competitors adapted to the evolving landscape by incorporating customer insights into their strategies, this fading company fell further behind. What remained were echoes of a once revered establishment, now lost in a landscape that had moved on, leaving only remnants of its former presence. The challenges of globalization presented themselves as Borders sought to expand beyond its domestic borders. This venture took them into various international markets, where they encountered diverse consumer preferences and competitive landscapes. In these regions, it soon became apparent that the established model of large, centralized bookstores did not resonate as effectively as anticipated. Cultural nuances shaped the reading habits and purchasing behaviors of consumers, leading to misalignment between offerings and demand. In several countries, local bookstores thrived on personalized service and curated selections, an experience that large chains struggled to replicate. The impersonal nature of a sprawling retail environment often clashed with the intimate shopping experiences consumers sought. This disconnect resulted in significant obstacles for Borders, undermining their efforts to capture market share. Attempts to adapt included partnerships with local publishers and efforts to stock region-specific titles, yet these measures frequently fell short. Interaction with international markets unveiled the limitations of a standardized approach, revealing that local knowledge was paramount in navigating these unfamiliar territories. The emergence of print on demand and self-publishing significantly altered the landscape for traditional bookstore chains. These advancements offered authors the opportunity to bypass conventional publishing pathways, allowing them to reach audiences directly. This shift manifested a profound impact on inventory management, as bookstores like Borders struggled to adapt to a model that emphasized immediate availability over extensive stock. The reliance on a fixed inventory became increasingly untenable. With self-published titles flooding the market, it became evident that consumer preferences were shifting towards diverse and niche offerings. The ability for authors to publish their works without the constraints of traditional publishing meant that the selection available to readers was expanding daily. Borders found itself at a crossroads, unable to compete with the vast and varied landscape of self-published literature. Sales began to dwindle as customers sought unique and personalized reading experiences elsewhere. This region witnessed a decline in foot traffic, as the allure of immediate access to a broader array of titles drew patrons to online platforms. The Fading Company grappled with the challenge of remaining relevant amid these rapid changes, often resorting to strategies that failed to resonate with a generation increasingly favoring digital formats. In this environment, Borders faced not only the challenge of external competition, but also the need for introspection regarding its identity and purpose within an evolving marketplace. The historical context of book retailing in America reveals a landscape that has undergone significant transformation over the decades. Initially characterized by small, independent bookstores, this region witnessed a gradual shift toward larger chain establishments during the late 20th century. These chains capitalized on economies of scale, providing a vast selection and competitive pricing that appealed to consumers seeking convenience and variety. In the early 2000s, as digital technology began reshaping the retail environment, the emergence of online book sales significantly altered the dynamics of consumer behavior. E-commerce platforms offered unprecedented access to titles, often at lower prices, enticing readers away from physical storefronts. The allure of instant gratification through digital downloads began to overshadow the tactile experience of browsing through shelves. In concert with these changes, the rise of electronic reading devices further diminished the foothold of traditional bookstores. This shift prompted larger chains to adapt, yet many struggled to pivot effectively, often clinging to outdated business models and failing to embrace innovative approaches. The consequences were profound, as customer foot traffic dwindled, leading to an unsettling reality where the once vibrant aisles of bookstores became increasingly quiet. The evolution of book retailing reflects not only technological advancements, but also shifts in consumer preferences that profoundly impacted the industry's landscape. The absence of robust data analytics created a significant void within the Fading Company's strategy. Lacking comprehensive insights into customer behaviors and preferences, it struggled to align its offerings with the evolving demands of literature enthusiasts. This region, once bustling with avid readers, now lay silent, punctuated only by the echoes of a bygone era. As competitors embraced sophisticated analytics tools to discern trends, Borders remained tethered to traditional methods that proved inadequate in a rapidly changing environment. Without the ability to track purchasing patterns or gather feedback, decision-making became increasingly erratic. Stocking decisions relied on intuition rather than informed analysis, resulting in shelves filled with titles that failed to resonate with the target audience. The disconnect between inventory and consumer interest led to dwindling foot traffic and declining sales, further exacerbating the situation. In a market where personalization became paramount, the Fading Company's generic approach approach alienated its customer base. They found themselves navigating a landscape where digital platforms tailored recommendations with precision, leaving Borders at a disadvantage. The absence of a strategic focus on data-driven insights sealed its fate, as the once thriving chain struggled to connect with a generation that demanded relevance and engagement. The void left by this oversight reverberated throughout the industry, marking a shift towards a new paradigm of retailing. The outdated systems employed by Borders contributed significantly to its decline. Inventory management relied on methods that had become obsolete, unable to adapt to the rapidly changing landscape of digital commerce. In an era where technology was evolving at an unprecedented pace, this regional chain operated with a sense of detachment from the innovations reshaping consumer behavior. Data collection processes struggled to provide real-time insights into sales trends, leaving decision-makers without the necessary tools to respond to market demands. As competitors embraced sophisticated algorithms and predictive analytics, Borders remained tethered to traditional practices. This inertia hindered the ability to streamline operations and optimize stock levels, resulting in overstocked shelves and a diminished customer experience. Technological advancements in e-commerce further exacerbated the issue. While rivals leveraged online platforms to enhance their reach, this fading company hesitated in fully embracing the digital transition. The limited online presence and lack of integration with brick-and-mortar operations became a significant disadvantage, alienating a generation of consumers who preferred the convenience of online shopping. As the industry pivoted towards a more agile, technology-driven approach, it became increasingly clear that Borders was ill-equipped to navigate these changes. The reliance on outdated systems rendered them incapable of competing in a marketplace that demanded innovation and responsiveness. The dynamics of pricing strategies played a significant role in the decline of the fading company. Competing against discount retailers, it found itself at a disadvantage, often unable to offer prices that could attract cost-conscious consumers. These competitors operated on a model that prioritized volume and lower margins, employing aggressive pricing tactics that consistently undercut established retail prices. This environment forced the traditional bookstore chain to grapple with its own pricing structure, which had become increasingly rigid and less adaptable to market fluctuations. The unwillingness to significantly discount titles or engage in promotional pricing alienated a segment of the customer base that was lured away by the allure of savings. Shoppers, seeking value, gravitated towards these alternative retailers, drawn not only by lower prices, but also by the convenience they offered. The inability to effectively respond to these pricing pressures resulted in diminishing foot traffic. As customers turned to competitors for their reading needs, the once familiar atmosphere of the shelves grew quiet, echoing the absence of patrons. Inventory became stagnant, and the economic model faltered under the weight of excess stock that could not be moved. Consequently, sales dwindled, creating a feedback loop of declining revenues and rising operating costs. The evolution of the publishing industry played a pivotal role in shaping the fate of Borders. Technological advancements introduced digital formats that transformed how consumers accessed literature. Ebooks emerged as a viable alternative, appealing to a growing demographic that sought convenience over the tactile experience of physical books. This shift was not merely a trend, it signified a monumental change in reading habits and consumption patterns. As Borders grappled with its identity in an increasingly digital landscape, traditional publishing models began to falter. Publishers adapted to the demand for quicker releases, often prioritizing titles that could generate immediate profits over literary depth. These strategies left little room for the diverse selection that once characterized Borders' shelves. The chain's inventory became less representative of emerging voices and niche genres, further alienating a loyal customer base. Competition intensified from online retailers who offered vast selections at competitive prices. The convenience of shopping from home became a defining factor for many consumers, eroding Borders' once prestigious position in the market. Sales declined, and the chain struggled to keep pace with the rapidly changing environment. As it attempted to reposition itself, the disconnect between its offerings and shifting consumer preferences became more pronounced. The decline of Borders became a case study in the vulnerability of established businesses amid transformative industry shifts. Overstuffed shelves became emblematic of the challenges faced by Borders. The vast array of titles, an initial draw for customers, gradually morphed into a burden. In an era of digital consumption, the inability to move large quantities of physical books led to significant dead stock. They found themselves grappling with the paradox of choice, where an overabundance of options left customers overwhelmed and less inclined to make purchases. The inventory management system, once robust and effective, faltered under the weight of an ever-evolving market. Excess inventory not only occupied valuable shelf space, but also tied up essential capital. This region, once bustling with eager shoppers, began to feel the strain as unsold items lingered for months, collecting dust. The financial implications became starkly evident, as the cost of maintaining this surplus further eroded profit margins. Meanwhile, competition from online retailers intensified, with their streamlined logistics and ability to offer titles without physical constraints. Borders struggled to adapt, unable to reconcile their existing inventory practices with the demands of a shifting landscape. The absence of a clear strategy to manage stock effectively contributed to the deterioration of customer experience. What once stood as a beacon of literary exploration now represented a cautionary tale of mismanagement and the consequences of failing to evolve amidst change. The decline of local presence marked a significant turning point in the life cycle of the fading company. As other retailers embraced community engagement, Borders found itself increasingly isolated from the neighborhoods it once served. The absence of local events, author signings, and book clubs contributed to a growing disconnect. This detachment alienated devoted customers who sought more than just a transactional relationship with their bookstores. Many independent stores thrived during this period by creating spaces that encouraged interaction and connected readers with local authors. In contrast, Borders maintained a formulaic approach, failing to recognize the value of fostering a sense of belonging. The sterile environment offered little to inspire loyalty or generate enthusiasm. Shoppers gravitated toward venues that reflected their interests and values, further diminishing Borders' relevance. The impact of this disengagement reverberated through the aisles. Inventory remained static, with little consideration given to local tastes or preferences. As consumers turned to online platforms for convenience, Borders struggled to compete, unable to match the personal touch that smaller competitors provided. This shift not only diminished foot traffic, but also reinforced the perception of the chain as an impersonal retail giant, further entrenching its decline. The absence of community engagement. Employee morale began to deteriorate as the specter of layoffs loomed larger within the fading company. Uncertainty permeated daily operations, with whispers of impending closures echoing through the aisles. Staff members, once passionate about literature and the joy of sharing stories, found themselves grappling with anxiety and disillusionment. As stores shuttered, the emotional toll became evident. Colleagues who had fostered friendships over years of shared experiences faced abrupt separations. The sense of purpose that once fueled their work dissipated, replaced by a haunting realization of their precarious situations. Each layoff announcement acted as a ripple, unsettling the remaining employees who witnessed the gradual dismantling of their workplace. Communication from management became sparse, often limited to impersonal emails detailing corporate restructuring. This lack of transparency deepened feelings of isolation among staff. A culture of fear emerged, overshadowing the enthusiasm that had characterized the atmosphere. The remaining employees, burdened by the weight of uncertainty, struggled to maintain enthusiasm for their roles. Tasks became mechanized, devoid of the passion that had once driven their interactions with customers. In these dimly lit stores, a pervasive sense of loss overshadowed the shelves, where books once thrived as symbols of community connection and knowledge. What remained was a hollow echo, a reminder of what had once been. These ruins stand as a stark contrast to the new breed of bookstores that have emerged in the aftermath of traditional failures. In this evolving landscape, independent bookstores have flourished, adapting to the changing needs of their communities. They have become gathering places, fostering a sense of belonging that was often absent in larger chains. This resurgence is characterized by a focus on curated selections, often emphasizing local authors and unique genres. These establishments prioritize personal interaction, creating a space where customers are welcomed and recommendations are tailored to individual tastes. The atmosphere is warm, inviting, and distinctly human-centered, encouraging patrons to linger and explore. Such bookstores often embrace technology, utilizing online platforms for sales while maintaining a physical presence that invites exploration and discovery. Events like author readings, book clubs, and community workshops have become staples, reinforcing their role as cultural hubs. In this region, the connection to literature is nurtured, igniting passion for reading among diverse audiences. The success of these models reflects a deep understanding of consumer desires, steering clear of the pitfalls that plagued larger competitors. New ventures are emerging, blending coffee shops with bookstores, further enriching the customer experience. This evolution signifies a shift in priorities, where community engagement takes precedence over mere transactions. As a result, these businesses thrive in a landscape previously dominated by decline. The onset of the pandemic revealed vulnerabilities that had long been present within the fading company. Physical locations, once bustling with customers, transformed into echoes of quieter times. Lockdowns and social distancing measures forced the closure of stores, leading to an immediate decline in foot traffic that was already dwindling. The reliance on in-person sales, compounded by a lack of robust online strategy, intensified the challenges faced. Inventory that once filled the shelves now collected dust, as consumers turned to digital alternatives. This transition was not merely a shift in purchasing habits, it marked a critical pivot in the way books were consumed. The surge in e-commerce presented a stark contrast to the traditional model that had defined Borders. As competitors adapted to the evolving landscape, it became clear that the fading company was not equipped to meet the new demands. Financial strain escalated during this period. Revenue plummeted, and with it, the ability to sustain operations. Layoffs followed, as the workforce was reduced to match the diminishing footprint. Empty storefronts soon became symbols of lost opportunity, while the community lamented the absence of a beloved cultural hub. Amidst this turmoil, Borders became a case study in the impact of external pressures, highlighting the fragility of legacy business models in an increasingly digital world. The influence of Borders on modern book retailing remains palpable, echoing through the corridors of contemporary bookstores. Once a titan in the industry, it offered a model that emphasized spacious layouts and extensive inventory, allowing customers to leisurely browse through aisles filled with titles. This approach, once considered innovative, has since been reevaluated as consumer preferences shifted toward convenience and immediate access to literature. In this region, the decline of Borders ushered in new paradigms for retail space, leading many retailers to adopt more agile and compact formats. The rise of e-commerce catalyzed a transformation where agility became paramount. As the online marketplace gained traction, the reliance on physical storefronts diminished, shifting the focus to user experience and digital integration. These ruins of a once vibrant chain stand as a testament to the necessity of adaptation. Independent bookstores now often incorporate community engagement as a strategy to thrive, fostering a sense of belonging that counters the impersonal nature of online shopping. They curate selections tailored to local interests, embracing a model that prioritizes personal connection over sheer volume. The legacy of Borders is not merely one of failure, it serves as a cautionary tale. It highlights the importance of evolution in an industry faced with relentless change. This legacy continues to influence how books are sold and experienced today. Customer loyalty played a pivotal role in the gradual decline of Borders. Once a dominant force in the retail book industry, it struggled to cultivate a devoted customer base amidst evolving market dynamics. The absence of a robust loyalty program left many patrons feeling unappreciated. Competing bookstores offered incentives that fostered a sense of belonging. Borders, in contrast, remained aloof, failing to adapt to the emotional needs of its clientele. In an age when personalization became paramount, the fading chain's approach to customer engagement lacked warmth. Store layouts prioritized product placement over the creation of inviting spaces where readers could connect with literature. It paid little heed to the intimate relationship that often develops between books and their readers. While many independent bookstores nurtured community bonds, Borders presented a sterile environment, devoid of the warmth and character that customers sought. The rise of digital platforms further exacerbated these challenges. While competitors embraced the online realm, offering convenience and accessibility, Borders hesitated and the fading company overlooked its role as a community cornerstone, a space where individuals gathered to share ideas and foster connections. Those once vibrant stores served as cultural hubs, hosting book signings, readings, and discussions that sparked local interest and engagement. Patrons would seek refuge within the shelves, browsing through titles while exchanging thoughts with fellow readers and employees alike. This nurturing environment created a sense of belonging that was integral to the bookstore experience. As digital platforms flourished, the void left by Borders became apparent. Local, independent bookstores began to capitalize on their intimate ties to the community, curating selections reflective of their unique surroundings. They embraced their role as gathering places, often transforming into venues for local authors and artists to showcase their work. These venues flourished through strong community relationships, adapting to the evolving needs and tastes of their clientele. The atmosphere within these spaces became charged with creativity and conversation, a stark contrast to the sterile, impersonal experience of shopping for books online. Borders, while once a major player, lost its foothold as it failed to recognize the importance of this connection. Without engaging in the community dialogue or responding to the desires of its customers, it drifted further into obscurity, leaving behind the remnants of what once was a thriving cultural presence. The transition to digital presented a unique opportunity for adaptation. Recognizing the potential of e-commerce, it could have embraced a forward-thinking strategy, investing in technology to enhance the customer experience. A robust online platform would have allowed it to reach readers beyond geographical constraints, fostering a sense of connection in an increasingly digital age. Innovative partnerships with emerging ebook platforms could have positioned this fading company as a leader in the digital marketplace. By offering exclusive content and tailored promotions, it might have captivated a new generation of readers, bridging the gap between physical and digital. In-store technology enhancements could have transformed the shopping experience, introducing interactive displays or community events that celebrated local authors and engaged patrons in meaningful conversations about literature. This integration of technology into the physical space could have revitalized foot traffic while enhancing customer loyalty. The establishment of a subscription model for ebooks would have invited a steady revenue stream, allowing it to compete with the growing dominance of online retailers. By prioritizing innovation rather than resisting the inevitable shift to digital, it could have redefined its identity and remained relevant amidst changing consumer behavior. All these avenues for growth slipped away as the company remained steadfastly anchored to its traditional model, unable to navigate the evolving landscape of the literary marketplace. The inability to adapt to the encroaching influence of technology became a significant factor in Borders' decline. Competing with tech giants demanded a strategy that embraced the digital age, yet this chain chose to overlook the mounting pressure exerted by online retailers. The rise of e-commerce transformed how consumers accessed literature. They sought convenience and immediacy, characteristics not offered by physical storefronts. In this environment, Borders' reliance on traditional book sales rendered it vulnerable. The company's late entry into the ebook market, alongside its decision to partner with third-party platforms instead of developing its own, further illustrated a hesitance to innovate. It surrendered potential market share to competitors who swiftly embraced the digital transformation. Meanwhile, the appeal of online shopping grew stronger as consumers enjoyed the ease of browsing vast inventories from their homes. This shift undermined Borders' once coveted in-store experience, which could not compete with the personalized recommendations and swift delivery offered by digital platforms. The physical locations, once bustling with patrons, began to reflect a sense of stagnation. Shelves filled with books remained untouched, while the atmosphere grew increasingly hollow. Untethered from the demands of a new era, this fading company illustrated a stark lesson in the necessity of agility and foresight in a rapidly evolving marketplace. The closures of bookstores reverberated through local economies, leaving behind empty storefronts that once buzzed with the energy of readers and the warmth of community engagement. Each shuttered location represented not just a loss of books, but a diminishment of cultural hubs that fostered creativity and connection. They served as gathering spaces where individuals could exchange ideas, attend events, and discover new authors. The absence of these venues resulted in a notable decline in foot traffic, which in turn diminished the vitality of surrounding businesses. Local cafes and shops that thrived on the influx of book lovers began to feel the weight of economic strain. Displaced shoppers sought alternatives, often turning to online retailers, where the tactile experience of browsing could not be replicated. The gradual erosion of these neighborhood institutions led to increased vacancy rates, contributing to a cycle of decline that many communities struggled to break. Employment opportunities also suffered. Jobs once held by passionate individuals were lost, leading to a further erosion of local income levels. The ripple effects extended beyond immediate commerce, impacting local events and programs that relied on the support and sponsorship of thriving bookstores. Without these anchors, the fabric of community life began to fray, leaving behind a poignant reminder of the interplay between commerce, culture, and community vitality. The rise of online reviews significantly influenced perceptions of the fading company. In a time when digital communication became the norm, it struggled to adapt to this new landscape. Customers turned to online platforms to express their opinions, sharing experiences that often overshadowed the in-store offerings. The absence of a robust online presence magnified the impact of negative reviews, leaving it vulnerable to the whims of public sentiment. Customers expected real-time interactions, yet the fading company failed to engage effectively. Competitors thrived by embracing technology, fostering communities around their brands, and nurturing customer relationships. The disconnect became evident as Borders remained entrenched in traditional retail methodologies, unable to pivot towards an increasingly digital world. The allure of convenience, paired with the rise of e-commerce giants, rendered its once reliable business model obsolete. As reviews proliferated, they painted a picture of decline. Instead of being a refuge for literary enthusiasts, it became a place haunted by echoes of missed opportunities. Shoppers began to question not only the value of the merchandise, but also the very essence of the experience. This erosion of trust marked a critical juncture, revealing the disconnect between what was offered and what customers increasingly sought. The struggle with online reputation encapsulated a broader narrative of an industry grappling with transformation. A deep understanding of consumer psychology often governs purchasing decisions, yet this fading company underestimated the emotional connection individuals have with books. This connection extends beyond mere transactions. It encompasses nostalgia, identity, and the pursuit of knowledge. Borders, once a leader in the market, failed to recognize that a bookstore is not just a place to purchase literature, but a sanctuary for exploration and discovery. This region's consumers sought experiences, not merely products. They craved community engagement, workshops, and author events that fostered a sense of belonging. Instead, Borders focused primarily on discounts and physical expansion, missing the chance to cultivate an emotional bond with patrons. The ambience within its stores, filled with rows of uninviting shelves, lacked the warmth that often invites visitors to linger. By neglecting to create spaces that encouraged browsing and interaction, it lost valuable opportunities to build loyalty. Additionally, marketing strategies failed to resonate with a generation shifting toward digital platforms. The reluctance to adapt to storytelling through social media and other digital avenues alienated potential customers. The juxtaposition of a rich literary experience against the sterile, transactional nature of its operations highlighted a disconnect. This refusal to embrace the evolving landscape. The declining sales figures reflect a troubling trend for traditional bookstores. Over the last decade, these establishments have witnessed a steady decrease in foot traffic, with a recorded decline of more than 30% in customer visits. This shift has been accompanied by a significant drop in revenue, with many chains reporting losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars annually. The once vibrant aisles, filled with eager readers, have grown quieter, echoing the fading interest in physical books. Competition from online retailers has only exacerbated this downturn. The convenience of digital shopping has lured consumers away, resulting in a sharp rise in ebook sales, which climbed to approximately 35% of the overall market. Traditional stores were unable to pivot effectively, leading to a growing disconnect with their customer base. These figures paint a stark picture of a struggling industry. Inventory levels have been drastically reduced as stores attempt to minimize overhead costs, resulting in a limited selection that further alienates potential buyers. The impact of this reduction resonates throughout the supply chain, affecting publishers and distributors alike. In this region, empty shelves speak volumes about the decline, where once vibrant displays have turned into mere remnants of a bygone era. Silent aisles reveal more than just lost sales. They signify a profound shift in cultural consumption, patterns that traditional bookstores have failed to navigate. Inefficient inventory management plagued operations, resulting in a misalignment between customer demand and available titles. The decision to stock vast quantities of bestsellers while neglecting niche markets alienated a dedicated readership seeking unique voices. This approach. Digital competition emerged as a significant threat. The rise of e-commerce giants transformed shopping habits, offering convenience and immediate access to countless titles with a mere click. Borders' initial reluctance to embrace online retail left them vulnerable in an evolving marketplace. Attempts to develop a robust digital platform were delayed and half-hearted, further contributing to its decline. A reliance on physical storefronts limited flexibility. The expansive real estate strategy, once perceived as an advantage, became a burden as overhead costs mounted and foot traffic dwindled. These once bustling locations stood increasingly vacant, their windows reflecting the changing landscape of consumer preferences. Marketing strategies proved ineffective in appealing to a new generation of readers. The failure to capitalize on social media and digital marketing left it increasingly disconnected from the audience it sought to engage. Loyalty programs and events, intended to foster community, struggled to attract patrons amid the allure of online alternatives. In summation, it was a convergence of miscalculations and an inability to adapt that sealed the fate of this once prominent chain. The remnants of its legacy remain as a cautionary tale for businesses navigating similar waters. The shift in consumer values has redefined market dynamics, with an increasing emphasis on sustainability and localism. This change has rendered traditional business models, like that of the fading bookstore chain, less viable. Customers now seek out small, independent retailers that prioritize ecological responsibility and community engagement. This new consumer ethos values the origins of products and the stories behind them, fostering a desire to support local authors and artisans. In this region, once bustling with foot traffic, the quiet streets reflect the changing preferences of patrons who now opt for intimate, personalized shopping experiences. They desire transparency in sourcing, favoring establishments that contribute to the local economy. The allure of supporting nearby enterprises stands in stark contrast to the homogenized offerings of a large chain that once dominated the literary landscape. Amidst these ruins of a bygone era, the remnants of unsold inventory gather dust, representing a disconnect from contemporary values. This dissonance reveals a fundamental shift in priorities, with consumers increasingly conscious of their purchasing power and its potential to influence their environment. As the landscape continues to evolve, the once revered bookstore chain finds itself at a crossroads, unable to adapt to the growing demand for sustainable practices and community-centric approaches. The narrative of decline persists, echoing the need for businesses to realign with the shifting tides of consumer sentiment. The relationships with authors distinctly shape the contrasting trajectories of Borders and independent bookstores. Once a titan in the industry, Borders focused on mass-market appeal, often prioritizing the interests of publishers over personal connections with writers. This led to a formulaic approach, characterized by standard promotions and predictable stock selections. The impersonal nature of these interactions failed to cultivate loyalty among authors, who began to gravitate towards more intimate retail environments. Indie bookstores, in stark contrast, fostered deep ties with local and emerging authors. These establishments became sanctuaries for writers, providing platforms for readings, signings, and community engagement. The establishment of personal rapport allowed for a more authentic connection between creators and consumers. This cultivation of relationships enriched the reading experience, offering patrons a sense of belonging within their communities. As Borders expanded, it lost sight of the emotional and cultural value of literature. The sterile, corporate atmosphere diminished the significance of literary events. This region, once a bustling hub of creativity, saw a decline in author involvement, as established voices sought refuge in smaller, more supportive venues. The shift in focus from nurturing relationships to prioritizing profits highlighted the widening chasm between these two types of booksellers. The changing dynamics in book retailing began to reveal the influence of Generation Z. This demographic, characterized by their digital nativity, approached literature through a different lens. The demand for unique, curated experiences became evident, diverging from traditional retail models that relied heavily on volume sales. It transformed not only preferences, but also the very framework of how bookstores operated. These individuals gravitated towards independent retailers that offered a sense of community, often favoring authenticity over the mass-produced. They sought spaces that reflected their values, such as sustainability and social awareness, demonstrating a profound impact on consumer behavior. In response, some traditional chains attempted to pivot, introducing events that catered to this audience, including author signings and book clubs, yet the effectiveness of these initiatives often fell short. The rise of digital platforms further complicated the landscape, as ebooks and audiobooks gained traction among this tech-savvy generation. The convenience and immediacy of accessing literature online diminished the allure of physical stores. Many found solace in the vast offerings available at their fingertips, and this trend indicated a potential decline in foot traffic for traditional establishments. Amidst these shifts, it became increasingly clear that adapting to the preferences of Generation Z was imperative for survival in a rapidly evolving marketplace. The failure to diversify product offerings marked a significant limitation for Borders. While many retailers embraced a broad spectrum of goods, this chain remained steadfast in its commitment to traditional book sales, neglecting to explore adjacent markets. In an age where consumers sought more than just literature, the absence of a varied product range became increasingly noticeable. This region witnessed competitors expanding their inventory to include music, movies, and lifestyle products, creating a more immersive shopping experience. The decision to focus primarily on books resulted in a stagnation of relevance, as customers gravitated toward establishments that provided a wider array of choices. A singular focus on literature also meant that Borders missed opportunities to innovate within its stores. The rise of digital media and the increasing popularity of ebooks further underscored its vulnerability. As technology progressed, it became evident that the traditional bookstore model required transformation. Without embracing new platforms and formats, the potential for growth diminished. These ruins of the once thriving chain serve as a reminder of the consequences of neglecting diversification. Market dynamics shifted, and a failure to adapt led to an eventual decline. In a landscape where consumer preferences rapidly evolve, staying relevant demands a commitment to expanding beyond core offerings. Technological innovations reshaped the retail environment, revealing stark contrasts between the fading company and its emerging competitor. The rise of the internet facilitated a new era for book sales, allowing consumers to explore vast catalogs from the comfort of their homes. Borders, despite its initial investments in online retail, struggled to adapt efficiently. Its website lagged behind, lacking the intuitive design and user experience that characterized its rivals' platform. Amazon emerged as a formidable force, capitalizing on technological advancements to streamline operations and enhance customer engagement. With personalized recommendations and user-generated reviews, it created an ecosystem of convenience and choice. This approach attracted a growing base of loyal customers, drawn to the ease of acquiring books alongside media and household products. In contrast, physical locations of Borders became increasingly burdensome, with high overhead costs and diminishing foot traffic. The decision to expand into multimedia offerings failed to resonate with a customer base yearning for a refined digital experience. While Borders sought to replicate Amazon's model, its attempts were too late and insufficient. In this evolving landscape, the disparity in technological adoption and innovation clearly marked the trajectory of both entities. The fading company, once a staple of the literary world, could not compete with the relentless rise of its digital counterpart. The emotional connection established with customers transcended mere transactions. For many, this region was not just a store, it became a refuge, a place where stories breathed life into daily routines. The smell of fresh pages and the comforting hum of quiet conversation fostered a sense of community. It provided an environment where individuals could unwind, explore new titles, and share recommendations with fellow book enthusiasts. This relationship deepened through author signings and book clubs, moments that brought readers face to face with the creators of their beloved narratives. Such events forged bonds, creating lasting memories that intertwined with the literary journeys of those who frequented its aisles. Here, cherished moments took shape, as friends gathered to discuss plots and characters over steaming cups of coffee from the in-store cafe. As competition intensified, the essence of this establishment began to dim. The convenience of online shopping, coupled with the instant gratification of digital media, chipped away at its once vibrant presence. Each closure echoed not just a loss of a physical space, but also a void in the emotional landscape of its patrons. The joy of leisurely browsing diminished, leaving behind a palpable sense of nostalgia for the gatherings and shared experiences. In the end, it was not merely about books, it was about belonging. The final days unfolded with a haunting stillness, a stark contrast to the once vibrant atmosphere that characterized the thriving bookstores. The remaining locations stood as solitary sentinels, remnants of a bygone era where aisles filled with literature fostered community engagement. Shelves, now sparsely populated, bore witness to a gradual decline. The muted colors of the covers seemed to fade into the background, overshadowed by the palpable sense of abandonment. Patrons wandered through these spaces with a blend of nostalgia and sorrow. Conversations, once lively and animated, transformed into hushed tones, as if acknowledging the impending loss. Employees, a small contingent clinging to the dwindling customer base, wore expressions of resignation, their spirits dimmed by the certainty of what lay ahead. Sales promotions, once enticing, became desperate attempts to salvage what little remained. Discounts painted on large posters hung limply, signaling the end rather than a resurgence. It was a quiet farewell to the camaraderie that used to thrive in these walls, the connections that had woven together lives and stories. Each closing store whispered tales of dreams unfulfilled, ambitions that had faltered under the relentless pressure of changing times. These locations, now fading memories, captured an era where a simple bookstore was not just a place to purchase books, but a sanctuary for the soul. The aftermath of this decline saw Borders' assets undergo a gradual and methodical transition. Following the bankruptcy declaration, liquidation sales began to empty shelves that once brimmed with volumes of literature. Remaining inventory was sold off at discounted prices, a stark contrast to the original pricing strategies that had defined the brand for years. The once bustling aisles transformed into echoes of a past era, where customers leisurely browsed amidst the scent of fresh paper and coffee. Physical spaces, previously filled with the warmth of community gatherings and author signings, became vacant lots. Some properties were purchased by competing retailers, while others were left to languish, succumbing to the wear of time. The loss of these venues marked more than just the closing of stores. It indicated a broader shift in consumer behavior. Digital platforms began to dominate, offering convenience and accessibility that traditional retailers struggled to match. Employees, once the lifeblood of this beloved chain, faced uncertain futures. Many sought employment elsewhere, while others transitioned into independent ventures, attempting to replicate the close-knit atmosphere that had characterized Borders. The remnants of its once proud legacy linger in the memories of those who frequented these establishments, a testament to the enduring impact of a brand that once thrived in a different landscape. The decline of this bookstore chain serves as a case study for other retailers navigating the complexities of a rapidly changing market. Recognition of shifting consumer preferences is paramount. It underscores the necessity for adaptation, as reliance on traditional business models without innovation can lead to irrelevance. A failure to embrace digital transformation marked a turning point for the chain, revealing the importance of integrating technology into customer engagement strategies. Retailers must prioritize the development of a robust online presence, understanding that convenience and accessibility are vital in today's consumer landscape. This region, once bustling with foot traffic, illustrates how physical spaces can become liabilities if not complemented by a compelling digital experience. The experience of the fading company also highlights the role of inventory management. Excessive stock and an inability to pivot according to market demand can lead to financial strain. This lesson is particularly relevant in an era where trends shift rapidly, making agility a necessary trait for survival. Lastly, cultivating a community around a brand can foster loyalty. Engaging customers through events, personalized experiences, and community involvement can create a sense of belonging. These insights, gleaned from the slow unraveling of such a once dominant entity, resonate deeply within the retail sector, offering guidance to those striving to thrive against looming challenges. The retail landscape has evolved significantly in the aftermath of this chain's decline. New players have emerged, adapting to shifting consumer behaviors and technological advancements. Independent bookstores, often characterized by their unique offerings and community-centric approaches, have found a renewed sense of purpose. They capitalize on local engagement, fostering relationships that transcend mere transactions. Their presence serves as a counterbalance to the digital world, inviting customers to experience the tactile joy of browsing physical shelves. Digital platforms now dominate the market, offering an expansive selection that traditional stores could not match. Ebooks and audiobooks have transformed the reading experience, providing instant access to literature. Subscription services have emerged, catering to diverse tastes while ensuring a steady revenue stream. This shift indicates that the future of book retailing lies in flexibility and innovation, blending physical and digital realms. Sustainability has also gained traction, with consumers increasingly prioritizing eco-friendly practices. Many emerging retailers are focusing on sustainable materials and practices, appealing to a conscientious audience. The future may hold collaborations between independent bookstores and online platforms, creating hybrid models that benefit from both worlds. While challenges persist, the evolution of book retailing suggests a promising horizon, marked by adaptability and a deeper connection to the reading community. The legacy of Borders is marked by both its rise and its eventual decline. Once a prominent figure in the landscape of retail bookstores, it represented an era of literary exploration and consumerism. This chain offered a vast selection of titles, inviting countless patrons to browse its shelves, seeking knowledge, entertainment, and escape. It became a social hub, a place where communities gathered to share ideas and discover new authors. The eventual decline of Borders unfolded gradually, characterized by strategic missteps and an inability to adapt to the rapidly changing market. The rise of digital platforms and e-readers reshaped consumer behavior, leading to diminished foot traffic in brick-and-mortar establishments. As competition intensified, the fading company struggled to keep pace with evolving preferences, and an emphasis on physical inventory became a liability rather than an asset. Borders' closure marked the end of an era, but it also served as a poignant reminder of the shifting dynamics within retail. The lessons gleaned from its trajectory resonate within the industry, emphasizing the necessity for flexibility and innovation. Though the physical stores have vanished, the impact of Borders remains, influencing how new enterprises approach the book retail market. This chapter serves as both a memorial and a cautionary tale, encapsulating the complexities of commerce in an ever-evolving landscape.